They say lightning doesn't strike twice. But for Papoose, it just did, and this time, it hit harder than ever. Just when the hip-hop world thought the dust had settled on the messy drama between Papoose and Claressa Shields. Bam, she went and set the internet on fire again. And this wasn't a subtle shade or a cryptic post. Oh no. Claressa deliberately shared a stream of cozy, intimate, can't-see moments with her new fiancé moments that left fans gasping and Papoose's name trending for all the wrong reasons. Again, we're talking champagne toasts with locked eyes, soft laughs as they leaned in way too close. And that one picture, the one that had Twitter melting down, her hand resting on his chest, slips brushing her forehead, her caption reading, "Right where I'm meant to be," if that wasn't enough. Eagle-eyed fans noticed something else. Something that turned a romantic post into a bombshell. Just on the table beside them, it's a familiar gold chain one fan swear used to belong to Papoose. And within minutes, the comments section exploded with accusations, theories, and the kind of digital chaos you can't walk back. Was this an innocent post gone wrong? Or was Claressa sending a direct, sharp message to her ex? And if so, what does she know that we don't? Trust me, the first twist is about to make you look at that post in a whole new way, too. Understand just how deep this cut goes for Papoose. We have to rewind way back to when his name and Claressa's weren't tangled in betrayal, shade, and public humiliation, but in what looked like genuine admiration and respect. See? Before all of this exploded into an ugly soap opera, Claressa Shields was riding high, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, undefeated in the boxing ring, and a rising star in the celebrity circuit. Papoose, on the other hand, was already a respected name in hip-hop. Celebrated for his lyrical skill, loyalty to his family, and his image as the unshakable husband who stood by Remy through prison, rumors, and industry pressure. It's exactly that image, the devoted ride-or-die husband, that made what came next so shocking to fans. The first spark, a charity boxing event almost 2 years ago. Papoose was invited as a guest host, Claressa as the star attraction. Multiple sources at the time said their chemistry was instant, not in a scandalous way, but in that effortless, we're vibing way you sometimes see when two personalities just click. They were seen laughing in between takes, Papoose hyping her up before her round, Claressa teasing him about stepping into the ring himself. No one thought anything of it. If anything, fans praised the moment as a cool crossover between hip-hop and boxing. But behind the scenes, insiders now claim that's when the friendly banter turned into frequent texts. And the frequent texts turned into late night calls. Things simmered for months until that infamous backstage video leaked. You remember the one? Papoose leaning a little too close, Claressa brushing something off his jacket, their voices low and hushed, while everyone else in the green room seemed to fade away. It wasn't graphic, but it felt intimate. Enough for the internet to freeze frame it, slow it down, and demand answers. At the time, both of them brushed it off. Just friends. People read too much into things. Stop creating drama. But the denial didn't stop the whispers. If anything, it made people dig deeper. And it wasn't long before timelines were filled with screenshots of matching locations, oddly timed IG stories, and captions that felt like they were aimed at someone specific. Then came the first real blow, the post from Claressa's birthday weekend. She uploaded a short clip to her story, Papoose sitting beside her, their hands touching briefly, her laughing as he whispered something in her ear. It was gone in under an hour, but by then, the Shade Room had it, Hip Hop DX had it, and Twitter was already running wild. That was the moment things shifted from rumor to full-blown scandal. Fans accused Papoose of disrespecting Remy. Others claimed Claressa was being messy on purpose. And while neither of them addressed it directly, the tension between all parties became impossible to ignore. Fast forward to a few months ago, Claressa drops the bomb that she's engaged. The announcement itself was sweet. Sunset beach photos, A sparkling ring, her caption gushing about finding real love. Oh, but to anyone who'd been keeping up with the drama, it was a silent dagger. Because while she never named names, everyone remembered who she was linked to just months prior. And the overlap in timelines didn't exactly scream clean break. Papoose, for his part, stayed silent. No posts, no shade, no interviews addressing Claressa by name. It looked like he was letting it fade away. But in the world of hip-hop gossip, silence can be mistaken for weakness. And Claressa's latest move feels like she's making sure no one forgets. Because now, here we are, her feed filled with loved-up photos, not just with her fiancé, but with little details that seem designed to poke at the past. The chain. The song playing faintly in the background of one of her clips. A track Papoose once performed live, dedicated to a woman who could knock him out in the ring and still own his heart. And of course, that caption right where I'm meant. To be coincidence? Some fans say yes. But for those who've been connecting the dots for years, this feels like the final nail in the coffin of Papoose's carefully built, loyal husband's reputation. And just when it seemed like this post was simply a public flex, one insider claims it's actually the setup for something even more humiliating. The internet thought it was just another happy couple moment. A famous boxer posting few pictures with her man, sipping champagne, looking radiant. For people who know how to read between the lines, Claressa's post was anything but innocent. And for Papoose, it was like a public slap across the face, because that gold chain on the table, that wasn't just any chain. According to a well-placed source, someone who's worked closely with Papoose's inner circle, that exact piece was a custom design from 2018. Gold links, diamond-encrusted clasp, and a miniature boxing glove charm in white gold. It was gifted to Papoose during a charity gala by Remy herself. The piece was one of a kind. Fans have seen him wear it in interviews, concerts, even on Love and Hip Hop. And now, there it was, sitting inches away from Claressa's fiancé. That detail alone would have been enough to get people speculating. But then came the deep dive. Twitter detectives began lining up the receipts, side-by-side images of Papoose rocking the chain. Screenshots of old videos where Claressa admired it, and now this. It's her new man apparently in possession of it. The first wave of theories was brutal. Some believed Claressa's fiancé had always been around during her friendship with Papoose, which would explain why her timeline with both men overlapped so suspiciously. Others suggested the chain was a trophy passed from Papoose to Claressa and now flaunted by her fiancé as some twisted symbol of victory. But the most vicious theory, that Claressa staged the whole thing. That she wanted that chain in the shot. That she knew Papoose would see it, recognize it, and realize she'd just broadcast to millions that a piece of his personal history was now in someone else's hands. And here's where the first twist comes in. Because the connection between Claressa's fiancé and Papoose runs way deeper than anyone realized. Remember back in 2021 when Papoose briefly signed with an up-and-coming fight promotions company to branch out into sports management. A small, flashy venture, he promoted a handful of boxing matches, showed up ringside in a tailored suit, and posted about new opportunities in the fight game. It didn't last long, but one of the young fighters he promoted? You guessed it, Claressa's now fiancé. Yep, this wasn't some random guy Claressa met after her split with Papoose. This was someone Papoose personally vouched for, introduced to industry people, and even mentioned in interviews as a future of the sport. According to insiders, Papoose helped him secure sponsorships, made sure he got TV time, and treated him like family. The guy even attended at least 2 of Papoose's private birthday parties where, according to one eyewitness, Claressa was also present. At the time, it didn't seem like anything more than friends of friends mingling at the same event. But looking back now, the optics are explosive. When that revelation hit social media, the narrative changed instantly. This wasn't just Claressa moving on and finding love. This was Claressa linking up with someone Papoose had personally invested in. The betrayal factor went from messy to diabolical. And if you think that's the end of the humiliation, you're dead wrong, because not even 24 hours after the chain photo blew up, Claressa's fiancé posted a cryptic IG story of his own. No caption, just him wearing the chain. Zoomed in, sparkling under the lights. The background track, 50 Cents, How to Rob. The message was loud and clear. He knew exactly what he was doing. That post triggered a social media meltdown. Fans tagged Papoose relentlessly, demanding he respond. Memes flooded Twitter, split-screen images of Papoose looking stunned next to Claressa and her man. TikTok edits set to dramatic breakup songs racked up hundreds of thousands of views. Even other rappers and fighters started dropping sly comments under the posts, with one veteran MC writing, "Damn, not the chain, bro." But here's the wild part. Through all of it, Papoose stayed silent. No subtweets, no interviews, no angry lives, just complete, infuriating calm. Some people said it was dignity. Others claimed it was him trying not to give them the satisfaction. But there's a growing theory. What if Papoose isn't silent because he's hurt? What if he's silent because he's holding onto a bombshell of his own? Because according to one very plugged-in source, the real reason Papoose isn't reacting publicly is because he's about to flip the script completely, with receipts that could drag Claressa and her fiancé in ways no one's expecting. And trust me, if those receipts are what insiders claim, the chain won't be the only thing people are talking about. For 2 days straight, the internet roasted Papoose like he'd just taken the biggest L of his career. Every blog had the same headline: Claressa's glow-up, Papoose's downfall. Every meme page had their version of the chain photo. Still, not a single peep from Papoose. But then, without warning, the first crack in the silence appeared. It wasn't from Papoose's main Instagram feed. It wasn't even from his Twitter. It was a 12-second IG story posted at 3:07 a.m., grainy, low-lit, shot from inside what looked like a studio. The camera panned over a mixing board, slid across a laptop screen, and landed on an open iMessage thread. The message on screen: a DM from Claressa. It wasn't a full conversation, just a single bubble visible. But the words were enough to set off alarms everywhere. If he finds out we were talking this early, it's over. Within minutes, people were screen recording the story and reposting it everywhere. The timestamps, the font, the color bubbles, all matched Claressa's verified account. And that phrase, "this early," sparked a tidal wave of speculation. Fans immediately began connecting dots. Did this early mean before Claressa's breakup with Papoose? Did it mean while Papoose was still managing her now fiancé? Did it mean both? Theories exploded. Theory 1, Claressa had been privately talking to her current fiancé, while she and Papoose were still cool, maybe even while they were rumored to be dating. Theory 2, Papoose had suspected it for years, and this was his way of slowly leaking the truth. Theory 3, the DM was just the first piece of a much bigger drop by sunrise. #ThisSurly was trending on Twitter. Hip-hop podcasts were already cutting emergency reaction episodes. And then, Papoose's verified account posted again. This time, it was a promo flyer. Front and center: Papoose X Fight Night Atlanta, hosted by Papoose and special guest. The date, just 3 weeks away. The special guest, completely blacked out. Only a silhouette. Here's where it got nasty. The background of the flyer showed a boxing ring. And in the shadows, you could just make out the outline of a championship belt. The same one Claressa's fiancé had been photographed with during his last televised fight. People lost it. Was Papoose about to host an event where Claressa's fiancé would have to walk into the ring? Woof. With Papoose in the building on the mic, in front of thousands. The tension was already boiling, but the next move sent it into overdrive. Less than 48 hours later, the J.K. Slay's official account posted a short clip from the studio. Papoose was there, head down, writing in a notebook. No music playing, just him muttering bars under his breath. The caption, "Sometimes the best way to fight back is on wax." That was all it took. Fans went into overdrive, predicting that Papoose was recording a diss track not just aimed at Claressa's fiancé, but possibly at Claressa herself. Rumors swirled that it would drop on the night of the fight, live in the arena with Claressa and her man in attendance. And just when people thought they'd figured out the play, another twist dropped. A blog that's notorious for messy receipts posted a blurry but very clear enough photo. It showed Papoose in what looked like a dimly lit restaurant sitting across from a woman with her hair covering most of her face. The caption, "Y'all wanted revenge? Looks like he's getting it." With her in question. According to the blog, it was none other than the ex-girlfriend of Claressa's fiancé, a woman who, in old tweets, had accused him of cheating and being ungrateful to the people who helped him. If the rumor was true, it meant Papoose had been quietly flipping the entire narrative, going from humiliated ex to the one holding both the chain and the receipts. But here's the part nobody saw coming. A source inside the fight promotion. Company claims that Papoose's special guest at the Atlanta event isn't Claressa's fiancé, it's the ex-girlfriend. She's allegedly scheduled to walk to the ring with Papoose wearing the same gold chain Claressa's fiancé had flaunted. If that happens, the internet meltdown we've seen so far will look like child's play. And the craziest part? Claressa and her man might not even know what's about to hit them. Because according to this source, the plan is airtight NDAs, controlled entrances, a surprise reveal only when the cameras are rolling live. One moment, everyone thinks they're just there for a fight. And the next, the ex walks in with the chain, standing next to the man they tried to humiliate. And if the whispers about Papoose's diss track are true, that chain won't be the only thing echoing in that arena. The second Papoose's 3:07 a.m. story hit the net. The reactions weren't just loud, they were seismic. The hip-hop world thrives on drama, and this one was a perfect storm. Betrayal, receipts, gold chains, and a possible revenge plot. Within hours, every social media timeline looked like a battlefield. Twitter was split into two armies. On one side, Team Claressa, convinced Papoose was just bitter and reaching for clout. On the other, Team Pap, claiming Claressa's posts weren't just love shots, they were calculated humiliation campaigns. The hashtag this early became a war cry, with people attaching it to every old video, lyric, an interview that hinted at something being off long before the split. Celebrities didn't hold back either. Joe Budden couldn't resist dropping a messy podcast clip. "Listen, if she had that chain and now the new man's rocking it, yeah, I'm calling foul." That's trophy snatching at its finest. Meanwhile, 50 Cent slid into the chaos with a meme of Papoose holding a mic, captioned, "When you're about to rap about the chain and the chick in the same verse." He even tagged Papoose, adding fuel to the fire. Over on Instagram Live, Remy Ma was cornered by fans flooding her comments. She tried to play it cool, sipping her drink, saying, "That ain't my circus and that ain't my monkeys. But, y'all messy." Her smirk when she said it, pure gasoline on the flames. Then came the industry insiders. A leaked text thread, allegedly from someone inside the Atlanta fight promo team, made its way to gossip blogs. In it, a staffer wrote, "This isn't just a fight night anymore. Pap's guest is going to make TMZ explode. I guarantee Claressa's man won't see it coming until she's halfway down the aisle." Even DJ Khaled dropped a cryptic another one on Twitter without context, but everyone knew what he was hinting at. Fans weren't just watching, they were digging. Someone unearthed an old YouTube interview where Claressa's fiancé admitted Papoose had helped him out early in his career. The comments section instantly became a conspiracy HQ, with people asking if that help was what Claressa meant by this early. TikTok had its own wave of chaos. users making side-by-side before and after edits of Claressa and her fiancé versus Claressa with Papoose. Some painted Pap as the wounded hero, others as the ultimate petty king. One viral soundbite from a TikToker summed up the vibe perfectly. Claressa thought she ended Pap, but Pap's about to walk into that ring like Thanos with the last Infinity Stone. The fight community weighed in too. Boxing commentators debated whether bringing Claressa's personal drama into a public sporting event crossed the line. Shannon Sharp on Club Shay laughed it off, saying, "Man, they box for a living. They know how to take a hit, but Pap's about to throw a lyrical uppercut that might end careers." By day 3, even mainstream outlets like the Shade Room, Complex, and Hot 97 were running hourly updates. A Hot 97 poll asking, "Whose side are you on?" pulled in over 200,000 votes, with 63% siding with Papoose. But here's the twist nobody expected. In the middle of all this noise, Claressa went live for exactly 4 minutes. No intro, no explanations. She simply held up the gold chain, smirked, and said, "Y'all really think he's the only one with surprises?" And with that, she ended the stream. That single sentence flipped the conversation again. Now fans were convinced Claressa had her own big reveal lined up for fight night. Maybe even something that could derail Papoose's revenge plan entirely. Even worse for Pap, whispers started that Claressa's fiancé had agreed to a last-minute exhibition match on the same card, putting them in the exact same building by now. The hype wasn't just about the fight. It was about who was going to outplay who under the bright lights of Atlanta. And if both of them had surprises, the world was about to watch a grudge unfold in real time. With no way to hit pause. Fight night in Atlanta didn't feel like a regular boxing event. It felt like the entire hip-hop gossip machine had bought ringside seats. The arena was buzzing, not just for the scheduled bouts, but for the off-camera drama everyone knew was about to unfold. Security looked tighter than usual. Camera crews from TMZ, Shade Room, and every gossip blogger with an iPhone were camped out near the VIP section. Papoose walked in first, rocking an all-black custom fit with gold accents. And yes, a brand new chain, twice as thick as the one Claressa had been flaunting. The crowd roared, but what got the real reaction was the smirk on his face. It wasn't the smile of a man nervous about seeing his ex. It was the smile of someone who'd come loaded with ammunition. Minutes later, Claressa entered with her fiancé. She wasn't wearing the chain. Instead, she had on a silk robe in her fiancé's fight colors, embroidered with the words "right on time." The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. It was a direct clapback to Pap's this early stunt. The camera zoomed in on her face, but her eyes never flicked toward Papoose. She didn't need to. The energy was already volcanic midway through. The undercard fights, the first twist dropped. During a break, the arena's jumbotron suddenly played an old, unreleased clip. Papoose and Claressa together at what looked like a small private studio session. The clip wasn't romantic, but it was loaded with tension. Her sitting in his lap, whispering something that made him laugh. The crowd's reaction was immediate. Gasps, screams, and 1,000 phones raised to record. Pap's face stayed straight, but Claressa's fiancé visibly stiffened in his seat. Social media exploded in real time. Who leaked this? Theories flew fast. Some said it was Pap's team. Others swore it was a friendly fire leak from a gossip site hungry for chaos. Either way, it worked. Claressa leaned over to her fiancé and said something that made him stand up mid-round and walk toward the locker area. But just when it looked like Pap had landed the biggest hit of the night without throwing a punch, the second twist hit even harder, right before the main event. The announcer stepped into the ring with a special presentation. The lights dimmed, and a slickly edited video package began to play. It was footage of Claressa's fiancé from years ago at a small community boxing gym, and who was in the corner, wrapping his hands, offering him tips. Papoose. The video ended with one devastating caption in bold white letters. Some people build careers, others just move in after. The arena lost it. Fans jumped out of their seats. Pap's section stood like they just won a championship. Clarissa's fiancé was now pacing near the ring apron, red-faced, jaw tight. Clarissa, still calm. Almost to calm. Then came the final mic drop of the night. As the lights came back up, Clarissa stepped to the edge of the ring, grabbed a mic and said, "Pap, you're right. You did help him. You also helped me. And that's why I invited someone else tonight. The person you never wanted the world to meet." She pointed toward the tunnel. The crowd craned their necks, and a tall man in a designer suit walked out, flanked by 2 security guards. The cameras zoomed in, and the live crowd went absolutely silent. This wasn't her fiancé. This wasn't a trainer. This was a man whose face Pap clearly recognized instantly. Pap's smile vanished. Clarissa just dropped the mic, letting the reverb echo through the arena. The broadcast cut to commercial before the man could even reach the ring. Online. Fans were losing their minds. Who is he? Why did Pap look like he saw a ghost? Clarissa just turned the tables. No one knew for sure, but one thing was certain: whatever was about to be revealed would either crush Papoose's entire public comeback or set the stage for the most brutal revenge track in years. And with that, the arena wasn't just waiting for the bell to ring, it was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And there you have it. A night that was supposed to be about punches in the ring turned into a masterclass in psychological warfare. Papoose came in ready to humiliate Clarissa Shields by flipping the narrative, leaking intimate clips and reminding the world that he once had a hand in shaping her fiancé's career. But Clarissa? She didn't just defend herself, she flipped the entire table. That mystery man she walked in, his appearance, is the question everyone's asking right now. Is he someone from Papoose's past with receipts? It's an old business partner with dirt to spill? Or maybe the one person who knows exactly how Papoose's career really survived during the toughest years? Whatever the truth is, the way Pap's smile disappeared says it all. This is personal now. The internet's on fire. Hashtags like #PapV, CLARESSA, #Mystery Man Revealed, and #Chaingate are dominating timelines. Twitter Spaces are popping up with thousands of listeners debating who really won the night. And you? Yeah. You watching this, you've got the inside track on every twist that went down. But here's where you come in, because this story isn't over. If you were Clarissa, would you have dropped the mystery man bomb right then? Or saved it for a press conference to get maximum impact? And if you were Pap, what's the next move? A diss track, a tell-all interview, or total silence to avoid feeding the fire? Drop your predictions in the comments because, we're not done here. In fact, the moment we get confirmation on who that man was and why his presence rattled Papoose so bad, we'll be breaking it right here. So hit subscribe, smash that notification bell, and don't blink, because the next chapter in this war is going to make tonight look like the calm before the storm.